I am continuing my reading. What I'm doing in this series is to read through the entire standard works of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. This consists of the Bible, the Book of Mormon, the Doctrine and Covenants, and the Pearl of Great Price. I am reading in a chronological order of events, not according to publication or volume, so I will be skipping around a bit as I move along. So in our last two readings, we read about the final wars between Syria and King of Israel, probably Jehoram, how Elisha helped them fight their battles, defeated Syria more than once. Syria besieges the capital city of Samaria in Israel, causing a great famine in the capital, but is eventually driven out by God, leaving all their tents and Israel to take the spoils. But as it goes out to take the spoils, the king of Israel is trampled on. He is trampled to death by the mob as it rushes out to get the food. I also want to mention that this video does have a Joseph Smith translation in it. What the Joseph Smith translation is, this is an inspired translation or correction of the Bible done by Joseph Smith to restore those passages that had been lost over the years. In 2 Kings chapter 8, first 15 verses in this video, we go. Elisha prophesies a 7-year famine. The Shunammite woman is preserved through the famine. Jehoram and then Ahaziah reign in wickedness in Judah. Spake Elisha unto the woman whose son he had restored to life, saying, Arise, and go thou and thine household, and sojourn wheresoever thou canst sojourn. For the Lord hath called for a famine, and it shall also come upon the land 7 years. She rose and did after the saying of the man of God. And she went with her household, and sojourned in the land of the Philistines 7 years. At the 7 years' end, that the woman returned out of the land of the Philistines, and she went forth to cry unto the king for her house and for her land. Talked with Gehazi, the servant of the man of God, saying, Tell me, I pray thee, all the great things that Elisha hath done. As he was telling the king how he had restored the dead body to life, that behold, the woman whose son he had restored to life cried to the king for her house and for her land. And Gehazi said, My lord, O king, this is the woman, and this is her son, with whom Elisha restored to life. Asked the woman, she told him. So the king appointed unto her a certain officer, saying, Restore all that was hers, and all the fruits of the field, since the day that she left the land, even until now. He prophesies the 7-year famine. Now this is another one that I'm not sure exactly when this takes place. We have not yet haven't read about the death specifically of Jehoram, although in the last chapter it seems that Jehoram died, but it doesn't say who the new king is. Was this 7-year famine during the same time period as the siege of Samaria? How this all fits together. Exactly when was this? I'm assuming it was sometime after, and so this is the next king of Israel. It's a safe assumption to make. And these events, the stories of Elisha, because they don't name the king, it is hard to actually place them chronologically. But I do like it. He warns the Shunammite woman. Remember, she's the one. She was kind to him whenever he traveled, whenever he was passing by. She gave him food and lodging, and so he promised her a son, even though she didn't ask for it. He just said, "You're going to have a son." And when her son was a young man, probably 12, 13 years old, he dies of an unspecified disease, what I thought was brain aneurysm. She raised him back to life. He's warning her to get out of the country because there's going to be 7 years famine. 7 years, she comes back, but apparently all her land has been overrun by other people. Other people have claimed her land because she wasn't there. Her whole family left. She's appealing to the king to get her land back. He is not talking to the king here. He's telling the king all about Elisha and what he has done. And he says, yes, this is the same woman. Well, then she should get her land back. It's a nice story. But again, when does it take place? 7. Came to Damascus, and Ben-Hadad, the king of Syria, was sick, and it was told him, saying, The man of God is come hither. And the king said unto Hazael, Take a present in thine hand, and go meet the man of God, and inquire of the Lord by him, saying, Shall I recover of this disease? To meet him, and took a present with him, even of every good thing of Damascus, 40 camels' burden, and came and stood before him, and said, Thy son Ben-Hadad, king of Syria, hath sent me to thee, saying, Shall I recover of this disease? Elisha said unto him, Go, say unto him, Certainly recover. Howbeit the Lord hath shewed me that he will surely die. Countenance steadfastly until he was ashamed. And the man of God wept. Said, Why weepest, my lord? And he answered, because I know the evil that thou wilt do unto the children of Israel. Their strongholds wilt thou set on fire, and their young men wilt thou slay with the sword, and wilt dash their children, and rip open their women with child. And Hazael said, But what? Is thy servant a dog, that he should do this great thing? And Elisha answered, The Lord hath shewed me that thou shalt be king over Syria. He departed from Elisha, and came to his master, who said to him, What said Elisha to thee? And he answered, He told me that thou shouldest surely recover. On the morrow that he took a thick cloth, and dipped it in water, and spread it on his face, so that he died. And Hazael reigned in his stead. Elijah was told to anoint Hazael to be king in Syria. This isn't exactly the best way to become king. Elisha is traveling towards Damascus, which is the capital of Syria. He's around, and he goes, and he sends Hazael to find out who he's going to live. And Elisha says, yeah, he'll recover from the disease, but he's going to die anyways. At that moment, Elisha has a vision going to happen in the future, and it depresses him. And he reveals to Hazael that he is going to be king of Israel. And so Hazael goes and he tells the king, he tells Ben-Hadad, yes, you'll recover. And then that night, he smothers him to death. He murders him. Before we close, let's look at this translation here. A very small one in verse 10 of this chapter. It says, And Elisha said unto him, well, this is the King James Version, to him, Go, say unto him, Thou mayest certainly recover. Howbeit the Lord hath shewed me that he shall surely die. Translation change here. Unto him, Thou wilt go and say unto him, Thou mayest certainly recover. Howbeit the Lord hath shewed me that he shall surely die. Change. That actually that changes what is saying here. He's not saying you'll recover from the disease. Remember, Hazael comes and he kills him the next day. He recovered. So aims for him to say, yes, he'll recover, but he'll die anyways, doesn't quite work. Alteration here, this correction makes this make so much more sense. He's saying, look, Hazael comes and talks to Elisha, and Elisha says, yeah, you're going to tell him that he's going to recover, but no, he's going to die. And Elisha is seeing that Hazael is planning on murdering the king. With the message of Elisha, Hazael is thinking, well, God said that I'm going to be successful, so might as well do it now. Change. And it actually does correct that quite a bit. It makes that work so much better. We're done here. We will pick this up in the next video. We will read portions from both 2 Kings and 2 Chronicles. So see you there.